hang on to your seat, baby, because this one's a screamer.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
No, entertained. So time come to y'all with another video. I know y'all been waiting for this video. But I want to rush it and give y'all no half ASS type video. I really want to take my time with this. So we're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17 reunion. Okay, this reunion was so funny because the shade that was thrown in this reunion was so quick. You really had to catch it because the shade was thrown from literally the beginning. So the girls are entering in to get ready and stuff for the reunion. Of course, it looks like Portia got the biggest dressing room. She even said to herself she feels like she's moving on up in this. Y'all know she's Andy's favorite. Of course, Andy goes in and checks on her first. All right. Kelly and Shamia twerking early in the morning. Shamia, you never gonna beat that impersonation that Drew did of you. I mean, you just feed into it every time. Every 2 seconds, you just shaking your butt, shaking your tussie all up in the air like that. Now, I did notice Kelly threw some shade at Phaedra when she was talking about her outfit, how her outfit almost didn't fit, and it almost showed her hoo-ha. You get what I'm saying? And she threw shade at her by saying, oh, Phaedra's gonna call me a 304 again. So once again, this goes to me saying, why did you ask her to be your attorney to deal with your divorce affairs if you do not trust this lady? Kelly, to me, made a less than smart decision doing that. That was very stupid to me of her to do. Like, you hired Phaedra out of all of the lawyers and attorneys in that area. Now, Andy goes and checks on Portia and he says, oh, I feel like you're going to make amends with everybody except for Shamia. I don't like this. Why are you putting it into her brain to not be cool with Shamia? You should be encouraging her to say, hey, one thing I want you to do is to come to an agreement with Shamia. Don't say, oh, I think you're going to be cool with everybody except for Shamia. It's giving bias. This is why so much people complain about Andy hosting these reunions. It's no shade. Because why are you being so, like, you feel me? Like, you should be trying to push them to make peace, not tell her to stay at odds with her. I know you were giving like a guess, but you shouldn't say something like that as a host. That's just my opinion. So we end up seeing Jarvis, okay? And Jarvis is very grown and he is cute. He's cuter than the last dude that Kelly was dealing with. So I consider it a win. They did a whole social media reveal. And y'all, he is now public with Shamia. So give it about another day and we're going to find out Jarvis's background, his criminal history, the woman he's been with, if he has children. Tasha K will be on it, or one of the other bloggers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we're gonna find a rundown on him. It hasn't been a full on day yet. So give it a little bit of time. All right. So all the girls start gathering on stage. Pinky is one of the first people to get there, and you could kind of tell she is wearing those like that big wrap that the girls wear when they laying around the house. Those photo shoot pregnancy wrap with the fur and the frou-frou. She's wearing one of those dresses. So all the girls sit on the stage and Portia and he goes one by one. Y'all know how he does. Shamia, how are you doing today? Oh, that's great. Kay, how are you feeling? Do you feel like somebody's plotting on you? I don't know. Portia, happy Pride. When I tell you he said that, I screamed so loud. That Andy is a shady one. He said, happy Pride. Okay. One of the first things they get into, when he said that, you notice they pan the camera to Shamia. Shamia's like, these are the things that make Housewives funny and it makes it hilarious. Is because those little shady moments that the cameraman does, we end up finding out that Phaedra wants to get into politics. I think this is perfect for Phaedra because Phaedra's a liar. So one thing a politician is a liar. So I think that is a perfect role for her. She'll be able to, keep lying and be extremely successful at it. You know what I'm saying? And at least it'll be for the greater good for us people of color in Atlanta. So I do feel like she needs to continue going down this politic path, right? Drew says she ended up getting a new body, new Benz, new body. It's and also some brand new chair, new body. Okay, she's like, I have a new body, whatever. And he's like, oh wow, um, I think it looks great. You look really great. Drew looks great. She was like, yeah, I'm all tight. It's not leaking. Keep that in mind. So of course, Kim Michelle's like, right? Pinky then goes down the line. She's like, I don't want to ever hear B word. And guess what? I'm pregnant. Okay. She reveals that she is with child. Okay. Which I feel like the way that they treated this lady pregnancy, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. You too, Claudia Jordan. We out here telling this lady business. She ain't even had a chance to even announce her own pregnancy. Y'all over here telling the tea on her. I would have been very irritated if I was her. Like, damn, let me just announce my pregnancy in peace. You feel me? Like, Pinky done give y'all all her life story anyway. She done told y'all all her financial information, child. Her husband, relationship dynamic, all that. The one thing she wanted to do was announce her pregnancy. And y'all didn't give her the liberty to do that. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Okay? Because it wasn't that serious. I'm thinking the whole time it was like, Portia pregnant, like somebody, you feel me, that would be like, it would be like, oh my God, it's a shocker. Pinky being pregnant is not a shocker. You know what I'm saying? Her husband be having some freaky deaky SCX. So it's just like, I wasn't like, oh my God. You feel me? Now, if Shamia was pregnant, I'd be like, oh my God, because of her fertility journey. You get what I'm saying? If Angela pregnant, I'd be like, oh my God, because like, her old ass ain't getting pregnant anytime soon. So it's just like, it's a few of them that I'll be shocked about. Pinky's not one of them. You feel me? Pinky's just not one of them. So I do feel like the way that this whole pregnancy situation was handled, it was very disrespectful. You feel me? And y'all owe her an apology. All right. They then start getting onto Drew and they start talking about randomly this pelvic floor situation. We don't want to hear about this, Andy. Like, you feel me? There's a lot of more deeper fish to fry and a lot of more holes to fill than Drew's. Okay. Then they start talking about Black. Speaking of Drew, they're like, how do you feel about it? She's just like, Black is a great guy. Black is extremely successful. Black is really Black. You feel me? Like, I'm just like, okay, girl, like, we get it, right? So then we get to K Michelle versus Drew because Andy's like, oh, Black has a lot of, things going on in the media right now with him, in these financial issues. If y'all don't know, I covered it on this channel, Evner Entertains, about Black and his shade room, TSR Investigates. I'm Justin Carter with TSR Investigates. Okay, Justin Carter did his own TSR Investigates, and we found out the tea about Mr. Black, about how he be borrowing money and don't be paying these people back, girl. That's why I don't lend money to people no more. No shade. Certain people will call me. I literally do not pick up the phone because I know, bitch, you gonna ask me for some money. I don't got it. Niggas always coming for me for money, girl. Pierre got the money. No, babes. I don't got it. Stop asking me for money. You get what I'm saying? So, girl, you got to know who to pick up the phone for, girl, because it's just some people you just know they're going to need some money, girl. They always in a bind, Nate. You feel me? So, K Michelle, like, that's why I did not want to be attached to this man, because we all know Black to take advantage of Black women. Now, K Michelle, you need to be very careful with saying that on a public platform with millions of people watching. He could really sue your ass, literally. Okay? And take the other implant out. Like, you have to be real careful about stuff like that. Like, I understand it if it is true, but just say allegedly, girl. She didn't even say allegedly. She said it like it was factuals, even though we all know it to be somewhat true, allegedly, because of the TSR investigates. But it's like, just to protect yourself and not to even end up in no legal crap, just say allegedly, girl. Because it's like, it's never that serious. And she wasn't saying allegedly. I'm just like, oh my God, K Michelle, like, Jesus Christ, like, you really just don't give a crap. So Drew's just like, you know what? You should really be careful making accusations like that, because people have made accusations with you, okay? And how dare you come for somebody and their business? Like, that's crazy. And I'm like, all I thought about was her going to Kelly's store. And I'm like, okay, Drew, now, girl, if you gonna call somebody out, girl, don't be hypocritical. No shade. That was very hypocritical of you, girl. You literally went to Kelly's business, stood in front of the door, and not bragged, but you made fun of the fact that her business is closed. So, girl, you have no room to speak about that. Please be quiet. I couldn't believe Drew said that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh my god, why would she bring that up? Like, out of all the things, you bring that up, knowing damn well you did what you did to that girl. Like, so Kelly's like, oh, you know how Kelly is. Her titty started jerking, girl. She like, wait a minute. You went to my business and you talked and you laughed at the fact that my business was closed. If we want to talk about making fun of businesses, okay? She hit us like, oh, you want to talk about mothers. She hit her with one of those. Rightfully so, because that was kind of messed up for you to do, Drew. And I do feel like it's some things you don't make fun of somebody's like huge failure because it comes back to bite you. No shade, especially publicly, girl. That's some things you key about with your homegirl here and there. Like, oh, they should hover, so I got shut down, girl. You don't put that on Instagram because next thing you know, Drew, you gonna drop it with Drew, girl, and then you gonna end up in bankruptcy, and then she gonna have the last laugh. You get what I'm saying? Like this, you got to be careful with stuff that you do as a public figure, Drew. You can't just be doing no ghetto like that. Okay. So they start getting into it, whatever. And Drew's like, whatever, Kelly. And then she's like, Kelly, Kelly, okay. And then Kelly's just like, girl, please, you over there sitting there with that P. Willie special. I will say, Drew, I told y'all, Portia, her ambassadors are getting out of control. Drew is an ambassador. You get what I'm saying? And slowly but surely, she is morphing into looking like Portia. Thank God she went with a lighter hair color. Because, baby, if she had a black bust down like Portia, girl, they would have been twins. Siamese. You hear me? Okay, they are starting to look very similar. It's given like single white female a little bit sometimes when it comes to Drew and Portia. I'll be like, wait a minute, what's going on? Even at one point, she even told Portia when Portia, was revealing that she's into women and all these things. She's like, wow, you're living the life I want to live. Who says that? You feel me? That's some things you say in your hair, girl. You don't say that to nobody, Drew. Okay? So they start going back and forth. And Drew's like, we shouldn't body shame each other about surgery and stuff like that. Because I have my surgery or whatever, and you had your surgery and stuff or whatever. And Shamia makes a great point. She's just like, okay, but you literally just made fun of K. Michelle about what you said about the booty thing. You talking about her booty was leaking. Drew, you were so hypocritical this reunion. This was a bad showing for you, Drew. You got caught up about like 2-3 times for being hypocritical. No shit. And I couldn't even defend you, girl. I love Drew, but it's like, girl, I can't defend you. They were right. You were being hypocritical. You can't say somebody body shaming and you throw a dig at her booty leaking. You can't say somebody should make fun of people's businesses and them getting in trouble, and then you turn around and make fun of somebody's business. Like, you can't do that, Drew. Okay? You can't do that. Her and Kelly start going back and forth, and she's just like, please, you need to get your surgery and stuff done. And she was just like, Kelly's like, Kelly's so funny when she's getting an argument too, because her voice turns so squeaky, she sounds like a Minnie Mouse, a black version. She's like, no. I had a boob job, and that's it. That's the only thing I've ever gotten done to my body. Huh? This is Kelly, huh? That's the only thing I got done to my body is my boobs. That's it. I didn't have nothing done, okay? Except for my boobs. That Drew gonna say, you need to undo it. Girl, I screamed. Here's the thing with Kelly. Her body to me is not bad. She just does not know how to dress for her proportions. This is why they call her Miss Proportions. Look at the dress behind me. That is too tight. You see that? The waist is so cinched in, girl. She look like if she takes a deep breath, it's all gonna bust out the seams. You can't be dressing like that for a girl like that. Kelly is top heavy. Her tatas are pretty large. So you have to do like a Jessica Rabbit type of figure to where it really makes sense. But she be cinching in and sucking in to where it just all looks like and it. You feel me? And look, she always looks uncomfortable with the things that she wears, except for that t-shirt. So I do think that she does need like a revamping. Maybe call Paris back. Paris is the old stylist, not the one from Bad Boys. Like, you might want to call him back. No shade. Paris Shay, I think y'all need to make amends, girl. Pay him what you owe him, apparently, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? And then just, call it a day, girl. Cause sometimes you really do need some of your old team back, girl. Like, cause I'm telling you, Kelly just be dressed in all types of cinched and tight, girl. Portia ends up getting her own segment about her new her lesbian relationship. What about your lesbian relationship? Okay. She ends up getting her segment about her new relationship. And she says that, her discovering that she's a lesbian was the best thing ever. I do feel like, in my opinion, Portia owes Candy an apology. Argue with your mama. She does owe Candy an apology because you made Candy's life a living hell when she literally told your truth. She didn't try to out you. She only told your truth because you were trying to get into it with her and you were trying to gaslight. This is why I could never trust Portia. I'm happy for Portia and the things that the blessings that she's receiving, but I would never trust her as a friend if I was on this show or just in real life because if y'all really think about it, she tried to flip it on Candy as if Candy was like a secret lesbian. Whole time it was her. Like, I thought about it watching the reunion, and I'm like, this bitch really just flipped. She tried to make it seem like Candy was this down low in the closet, a stud. Whole time it's you, babe. Like, that is kind of crazy when you really think about it. You owe Candy an apology. And Phaedra, you been owe Candy an apology. I'm waiting for the day, babe, when you could just admit that you did wrong by Candy, but you never would do that. Portia says she's very happy with Sway. I'm happy for Portia that she's finally living in her truth. Because we all knew she was always into women. I don't know why she thought it was a secret. And she says Sway, you guys, is very rich. Okay, I'm very rich. Has her own jet. You feel me? She coaches people in regards to real estate. I mean, in their businesses and stuff like that. She does real estate. So she has her own sort of coin. Now we get into how her family feels about it. The way she described how Dennis feels about it, I feel like it's capping her rap. I don't think Dennis accepts the fact that she's a lesbian. No shade. Only because I feel like he doesn't want Pilar exposed to that. I feel like Portia didn't want to say it because she doesn't want Dennis to be labeled homophobic, but let's keep it a buck. A lot of black families, they're not very comfortable with anything gay or lesbian. Like, it's no big secret. It's no big, oh my God, shocker. You get what I'm saying? It's none of that. Which, by the way, I didn't recap the last episode. No shade. I see why Angela's, a little bit perturbed about her daughter's relationship. It's not the fact that she's a lesbian. It's the fact that she's with like a white woman. Girl, I said, oh, that's why she not how to step in a relationship. It ain't got nothing to do with the fact that she gay. Angela can't relate to that white woman. That's why. So she's like, how much trust my daughter with this white woman? I don't know what she gonna do to my daughter. That's the real reason why Angela don't support that relationship. I hope you just be honest about it at the reunion, Angela. Be like, listen, I could accept the fact that my daughter is a lesbian, but the fact that she's with a white woman, I just don't understand the culture. Like, just be honest. Just be honest. Because that's really what it is. And the woman, the wife, she doesn't look like she's hip to, black culture. And I think that's what makes it worse. Because some white people, like, you could tell they hip to black culture, like they get it. She don't look like the type that get it. So it's like, girl, now I see why you kind of, you wasn't too much here for the marriage. So, I ain't mad at you, Angela. I knew you wasn't homophobic. She just never gave that to me. So I knew it had to be something. So now it makes sense. And I'm happy. Portia's mother was very supportive. She says she felt like her mother supported the fact that she is now like with a woman or whatever, and she says she was even for them getting married. That's how happy she is with the fact that she is found her love with Sway. The way Portia describes her relationship with Sway, now she's in love for real, for real. She says she feels, what's the word she said? And she says she goes into an abyss. I said, oh. She said I forgot what word she used. She said one word. She said one word. I forget the word, but it takes her into the atmosphere, girl. I said, oh, I know that sex is something nasty, girl. The way she described it, I said, oh, you know what I'm saying? They bring up the comment what Drew said, with Drew saying, you're living the life I wanted to live. Now, Drew says it was about the fact that she was able to move on and better herself after divorcing. I don't believe her. I think she was basically saying, "Girl, you got to stud like I wanted to stud." Because yeah, I remember it was rumors she was dating Ty Young. So I think she really was meaning that, but to save a little face, I think that's why she kind of said it was that. You're another one, Drew, that we peep your G. Your G. Okay. So then Kelly starts getting into a Portia over Simon in the house situation. Say what you want, but Kelly did what she could this first part of reunion. She kind of shocked me because she was not backing down. I feel like I like Angela, but Angela, to me, you need to kind of pipe down. And the reason why is because if Portia and Kelly are having an argument, Shamia's not jumping in. Why are you jumping in? It's giving a little bit of an ambassador. I done told y'all this. It's giving an ambassador. Are you trying to get some of that gold neck on? You know what I'm saying? You trying to get some of that gold neck on for the fan and have it be a fan go. What's her fans call? Fan me, fan go / hashtag, not hashtag, fan go X go neck on? Because I could picture the ad with the you feel me? Like, what are we doing here? I just feel like her butting in was kind of unnecessary. Those two going back at it, and Kelly's just like, "Girl, you give that man his house back. That's Simon's house. That's not your house. That's Simon's house." Okay. So then Angela's just like, "Girl, aren't you homeless? Where are you sleeping at night? You in Shamia house." She's like, "I never lived in Shamia house. I stayed in Shamia house while my house was getting ready. You can't even sell a house. Sell a house. Sell a house." Okay. It was given Cynthia versus Phaedra. Win a case. Okay. Ooh, I have two degrees. Get you one of those. Okay. Coming from a head doctor, you would know. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was giving a little bit of that. But once again, Kelly, you kept up. This is why I feel like, although some people don't like Kelly and people are keen at her being a standard, we need people like her on this show, because if we get rid of her and we don't have somebody that fulfills that same spot that could go against that opposite side, because let's be honest, this cast is split now. It's gonna be hard to watch because that other side is gonna always reign supreme. No shade. So we need the people like a Kelly that's gonna be not scared to stand up to the other side. Now you set the standard for standing up for yourself. How about that? Now, when it comes to the fashions, I don't agree, but you set the standard for standing up to yourself. Now that's the standard. You get what I'm saying? That's the standard. So they bring up this whole happy pride comment, which I did not think, and I made a video on that too. I don't think Shamia was being homophobic or trying to be funny or shady. I feel like, and Portia even said it. She said she don't think she was being homophobic. Like, she said she felt like the audience took that and ran with it. But here's my problem with Portia. You see that happening and you let the internet run with it. You don't say, "Hey, y'all, I'm not saying Shamia's homophobic now. I just thought it was shady. I don't think Shamia homophobic, so not too much on her." Like, you don't even have to have the common decency to do that. I know y'all not messing with each other and all that, but it's like, that's the stuff I be talking about. Like, she just gonna let it run just cause. She's gonna let it run. So then they end up talking about Phaedra, and Phaedra basically shading Portia and saying that, Portia is dating Sway because Sway got that coin and, she could buy that punani. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to Phaedra and Portia. To me, they are not real friends. Phaedra is a snake in the grass. If you don't know one, I'm telling you, I see straight through her. Okay, she hides it behind that southern charm, but that is a snake in the grass. Portia, that is not your friend. What Jocelyn said, that bitch not your friend. She shades you slightly and slickly. Because why would she bring up the fact that y'all both mess with the same man? But Portia, to me, is so gullible. She's easily fooled by Phaedra, but by her jokes and her keys. Not well knowing that Phaedra low-key be throwing digs at you low-key, basically saying you could be bought. Which I do agree with Phaedra. Portia not dating nobody ain't got no money. Let's keep it a buck. Which she shouldn't. Because I feel like once you make a certain amount of money and you're at a certain status, you should not be dating lower. Because the moment you dating lower, you're going to have to take care of a nigga. Gone are those days for me, babe. But you got to be on the same coin level. Like, with people these days, because you really gonna start taking care of them that you really should not be, doing favors for it. No way. Except for your payday. Straight up. So I agree with what Phaedra said. I just felt like it was kind of shady how she worded it. And then why would you reveal the fact that y'all both dated the same man if y'all not gonna talk about it on this season? This is why I feel like Phaedra shouldn't have a peach next season. She to me hides too much things from us, and I don't like that. You're cheating us as viewers, because that could have been something that was talked about on the season. We did not get that talked about. And to be honest, I heard Phaedra got a whole man the whole season, but didn't show him. Because if y'all notice at the reunion, she slickly brings it up, but she's like, "Oh, we're not gonna get into that." Why not? You're on the show with a peach. That's crazy to me. Like, the stuff that Phaedra gets away with being a main cast member is crazy. Next season, I really feel like she, out of all the girls, needs to get demoted, because we have seen nothing from her this season except for her faces. That to me is not fair. You got Drew opening up and showing her damn Ralph on the basement. A Pinky talking about every 2 seconds she broke. You get what I'm saying? Shamia trying to have a baby to save her life. Kelly broke as ever. You know what I'm saying? Literally exposing the most embarrassing things about themselves. And then you just have Phaedra making faces. Like, that to me is not fair. I'm sorry. Like her or not, y'all gotta be like, let's really be fair here. You get what I'm saying? So I really do feel like she needs to be demoted next season. And I feel like she either needs to get demoted or she need to go and bring Candy and Tamar. If y'all want good TV, them ratings would be through the roof. Oh my mind. Man, and y'all even got to bring Tamar as a fool. Y'all could bring her as a friend. The amount of ratings I would get, I'm talking millions. Millions. You know what I'm saying? Because what would be interesting with this dynamic is because we would see the dynamic between Candy and K Michelle if they were able to either be friends and or team up kind of against Tamar, or all three of them be at odds. It would make interesting television. So K Michelle kind of does an alley oop. She was just like, "See, that's what I was talking about." And she even said, she was like, "Phaedra always keeps her a nugget." We know. And she was like, "Oh, that's what I was talking about when it came to me and the man that we both dealt with. I just feel like I should have got a heads up." I kind of hate this argument only because K Michelle, you're married. So it's like, I get it, but then again, I don't. Because once again, you're married. So like, that man, straight up, okay? So she ends up bringing it up, and you kind of see Shamia makes a face. I felt like Shamia wanted to say, "Let me did what Phaedra had did. You would have read me for Phil." Shamia, you need to start speaking up more, because I would have said something. I'd have been like, "Andy, can I say something? If I did what Phaedra did to you, Portia, you would have read me for Phil, and you would not have given me the same grace." So I know we're at odds, and I spoke about your mother. We spoke about each other's mother, but God forbid I said what I did, what Phaedra just did to you, you would not be so forgiving. And that's the difference between our friendship. Like, Shamia, you should have said something. Cause I thought it. So I know you was thinking it. Cause the one thing about that Portia, she gonna let Phaedra slip and slide, roller skate, rollerblade, you feel me? Moonwalk, and just get away with anything. That's how she got caught up in the Candy mess. So K Michelle's just like, "Yeah, you should have, did that whole thing or whatever." Portia starts to imitate her. She like, "Man, please, what K Michelle was I gonna get if I told you the truth? Because I told you, I was like, ooh, K Michelle, Portia, I hit you up and I was like, oh, I didn't really mean what I said or whatever." And then you hit me with the, "Oh, thanks for retelling me." She started imitating her, not gonna lie, she ate that up. And they start getting into it over this dude. When they start getting into it over the dude or whatever, she was just like, "I'm not like you. I'm not PR trained like you. I'm not PR trained like you. I say what's on my mind or whatever." And then Portia's like, "I have lived. I lived. I will survive. I will survive." Okay, she wanted to say that real quick, to be honest. They start getting into it, and then she like, "I live many lives, whatever." She's like, "Yeah, you live lives too with all of your bodies. I mean, especially that body has lived a lot of life." So she's like, "Oh, shut your glory hole." Try they start getting into it real, real bad. Okay. Say what you want, but those two going at it is pure comedy. Kay and Portia. So they then get into this whole situation of K Michelle and her paranoia. And we find out that K Michelle was live tweeting as if she was in her confessionals. I don't know who told the bitch to do some dumb shit like that. Like, girl, are you crazy? Like, K Michelle is like less than smart for doing something like that. So that's why the tweets were so erratic and like crazy, because she was tweeting as if she was in a confessional in real time. So Andy basically told her, like, hey, don't do that again, babe, because you're gonna really mess up what the audience is thinking about your dumb ass. So don't do that again. She's just like, yeah. Andy was serious, Kay. I hope you don't think he was joking about that. Like, she was dead ass. I mean, he was dead ass. So don't do that again. We end up getting with this whole Shamia situation because Kim Michelle says she regrets a lot of stuff she did. Portia says, she didn't give any of the girls a real chance or whatever. They bring up Shamia talking about, the fact that her friends didn't want her to be friends with her. We all know she's talking about Candy, Toya, in that whole crew, in that whole clique. Okay. Which they call the Mean Girls of Rashida and the Mean Girls of Atlanta, which I'm so sick of them calling them the Mean Girls. I don't get how y'all could call Candy a mean girl. When, like, we watch her on the show and people have been a mean girl to her. If we're gonna be honest, especially when Nene and them was on, they used to make fun of Candy. They used to key at Candy, the talls versus the small situation. So I don't get how y'all can sit up here and call her a mean girl. Candy has yet to even address K Michelle directly and say K Michelle is or I don't believe K Michelle got hit and all that. Y'all cannot pin what Toya and Rashida did on Candy, and I find that to be extremely unfair. Candy was not on Love and Hip Hop. She was never on a show with K Michelle. Toya got into it with K Michelle over Memphis, and Rashida was on Love and Hip Hop with K Michelle. That is absolute to Candy's expense with K Michelle because they don't have any. So it's for y'all to coop her into that group to where y'all hold her accountable is crazy as hell to me. And I don't think it's fair. Okay? And it ends the reunion with basically K Michelle and Shamia starting to go at it, which I'm still not happy with the fact that K Michelle switched up on Shamia like that, because once again, it's given that you want to get good with Portia and her ambassadors. That's what it gives to me. Anyways, y'all, this was a really good first part. I love the fact that Pinky's going at Phaedra next episode. Okay, finally making it work for Jack. Let me know what y'all think down below, and where our babies.